Hey, it's Jess from YogiTriathlete. We have spent years coaching and competing in endurance sports, and now we're bringing you our newest offering, Endurance Squad, training with a holistic edge created by athletes for athletes. This isn't just another training platform. It's a dynamic community built on performance, longevity, and well-being. Whether you're a triathlete, runner, thru hiker, or simply training for life, we bring cutting-edge endurance training, mindset practices, and expert-led recovery tools together in one place. With new training plans and classes added each month, plus monthly group coaching calls with our master coach, BJ, you'll always have the support you need, because endurance isn't just about miles, it's about how you show up, body and mind. Ready to train differently? Join us at yogitriathlete.com/squad. Whatever it is that you're being called to, do it. Life is urgent. Just do it. Take the trip, write the book, start the business, send the apology to your friend. Be vulnerable. Admit that you're wrong. Be happy instead of being right. Life is urgent, and it's here for you. So live it fully. Live it uniquely. Live it like you, not like anybody else. Welcome to the YogiTriathlete Podcast. I'm Jess, co-founder of YogiTriathlete, here with BJ, my co-founder. And as you can see, we're kind of in this super cool set right now because we just finished the recording of Awake Athlete, When Mastery is Your Only Option. And quite a ride. I don't even know where to begin, so I'm just going to pass the mic over to BJ.
Mike. Always figuring out a way to get it done. It's been quite incredible to see how this whole process has brought us to here, sitting together in the basement of a studio of an athlete of ours. We just connected with him when we moved here to California. You can't script this stuff. We've talked about it many times. When you hand yourself over to the flow of life, amazing opportunities happen. And that's the wonderful side of it. There's also that side that where most people indulge in, and that's all the challenges and struggles that you face as you pursue that life that you desire. If you stick with it long enough, if you meet and greet all these opportunities as opportunities and not setbacks, you begin to uncover a path that you didn't know existed. You're actually creating the path as you move forward every step of the way in spite of all the challenges. And there were so many moments along the way that we were told or saw signs that we should stop or turn around because it's too much. But we kept going. Same thing with this audiobook. There's so many things that can occupy our attention in the negative or in the lack. Like, who are we going to get to produce this book? We have all the content. Now what? But we've been here way too many times, and we always figure it out. We figured out that Jess needed to write the book in Google Docs and save it multiple times and then print it out. And then we had to work on making it an actual hard copy and then get the barcode and then put it up on Amazon and all the pieces that are figured out along the way to bring us to this point where we're doing the audiobook. And there's so many pieces we don't have in place. And I think that's a testament to this journey that I discussed and shared with you all, that it's not always going to be easy and you're not going to have all the answers. But if you keep going, things will fall into place and you will live a life that is so breathtakingly beautiful. And you really have to be willing to let go of, if you read the book, let go of your old self to let that new self rise up and celebrate who you are, because it's been there all along. So I don't know if you have some words you want to share about this whole process. I'm sure you do. And we really haven't scripted this. We don't know what we're going to talk about, really, but this book has, as Jess says, birthed out of her. So and I'm sure she's rolling with the talking. So yeah, what is anything that you want to share about this process?
I think that life comes down to, I don't know, like a handful of experiences, or you can count on two fingers, like just those moments where you're like, oh, like things shift or something really sticks with you. And you might have heard it 100 times, but like that one time it really sticks with you. And a couple of things I think led us to this moment right here is you always get the information you need, not a moment too soon and not a moment too late. And so right now we're sitting here with like 8 terabytes of content, audio and video. And I don't know who the person is that's going to be able to bridge the gap between what we have right now and this being on Audible and being on the YogiTriathlete website. I don't know who that person is. But one of the other things that really helped me understand that, and this is specifically around like finances, this is how I learned to be more masterful with receiving abundance, is like, where's the money going to come from? It's going to come from where it is right now. And all I have to do is align with it. Same thing. Who is this person? Where are they going to come from? They're going to come from where they are right now. And we're going to align with them. And maybe one of you guys listening to this knows the perfect person for us. I don't know. And I think that's why you always have to put yourself out there. We're sitting in this beautiful studio in the building, that our athlete is here, Paul, who's incredible, happens to have a soundproof recording studio. I happen to have a dear friend that I've met here in California who is a makeup artist who helped me get camera ready for the last 3 days of shooting. None of these things would have been possible if BJ and I didn't take the step into the unknown. And then another piece that I want to wrap into this like few moments in time that really define your life. One of them was when I heard that the moment a dream is felt or an inspiration, is brought into your life, the mechanics to bring that into your reality are right there. They are birthed with it. So I think those kinds of things go like right along into this beautiful stream of flow of like, we had a dream that we really couldn't articulate. We could maybe just more feel it. We took the next logical step. We knew that as soon as the dream to take YogiTriathlete to an all-in level with us professionally in our life, the mechanics to bring it all into fruition were also born in that moment. And like where the athlete's going to come from, where the people in this community going to come from, you guys came from exactly where you were in that moment. And that we don't know how this is all going to come into its next evolution, but we know that whoever that person is, they are going to come from where they are right now. And so it's already here. Everything is already here. It's about aligning. It's about really checking what your energy is as you move through your day. And little shameless plug on the book, like this book will give you everything you need. And reading it for the last 3 days, like it's deep. It's a really, really deep book. Man, there's some gold in here to be mined. And I think the most important thing is like take what resonates and leave the rest, because once you take what resonates and you metabolize that, then you're ready for the things that, aren't resonating with you right now. But stay the course. And like BJ said, when you are stepping into something that you may not fully even know how it's going to look in life, 100% of the time, anytime you go after something that like you can feel more than you can articulate, you're never going to have all the details. But you've got to be willing to take the hits. because, man, you are going to take some hits. And I knew we were going to take hits at the beginning. I just did. I knew in 2016 we were going to take some serious hits. And I have to be completely honest, that excited me. That totally excited me. So that's kind of my riff in this moment. But did you also feel like we were going to take some hits, or were you just like, get me out of Rhode Island?
Well, yeah, this is so good, like listening to the book again, because it brings up all my memories of my perspective of everything that you experienced, like being on the other side of that text message that you sent coming out of meditation that said you knew where we were going. And on my side, I'm at my standing desk, and I light up because I'm excited, because I don't know, you didn't share exactly where we were going. I just shared that I wanted it to be warm, and it is warm for the most part. So I saw it as through my lens, all these stories that you shared. And of course I knew that there were going to be struggles. Like I wasn't naive enough to think it was going to be smooth sailing. But as we progressed across the country and got deeper into the journey, I know confidence grew in the unwavering faith and trust in everything will always turn out for our good, for our best self, like to allow us to grow. And if you look at it that way, nothing is ever bad. We just label it as bad. And we have all these labels flowing all over the place, good, bad, we're sorting and sifting likes and dislikes. And when the dislikes of the bad show up, we immediately have a gut reaction that says, oh, this is terrible, happened to me before. When will it ever be my turn? Story goes on. And that's unhelpful. So it's really a mindset shift. And that mindset shift can be practiced through things that you'll read in this book. There's that acknowledgement that you read 2 days ago now, the dedication to Mary, and then reading the chapter really brought up feelings of that, we're still going at this. Like, she believed in what we provided, as you read in the email that she had sent us, which is in the book, and wanted to be a part of what we were sharing, what we were living. And the only way to truly experience that was to come out and experience it physically in this time, this living life. Like, we were living life. We were living the ups, the downs, and we were sharing that on the podcast. And I think more people were gravitating towards that, which is why we created the High Vibe retreats, to come out and experience the way that we live and how we navigate challenges like that. So hearing that chapter from Mary definitely, I speak for myself, stirred up a tear or two, recounting the whole experience, but it also, again, lit a fire into, we must keep going. There's no other way I see it playing out. Yes, we're invested deeply in it, but we're going to get to the other side of this thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. And I know that this is how we operate. We talked about it on the car ride down. We're going to figure it out. We don't need to know all the details. And I think when you're okay with not knowing all the details, as you shared, you find that, wow, I was so consumed with all the details before I even started. Why don't I just start and then see what happens? And this is the same way that we coach athletes. Just start the workout, start the session, see what happens, have an experience. The more experiences you have, the more confidence you build in yourself to have experiences. And just so happens there's a book here that can sort of fast track you on the way to managing the doubt and fear, because that is what most often will rise up. The doubt, the fear, which creeps in and still creeps in moments here and there, but it has less of a hold on our trajectory forward. So I definitely felt we would have some challenges. My question to you is, as we have now finished the book, the video, someone's going to put it together. What's coming next? What do you feel after reading through this whole book? This is kind of like the final piece. Of course, we need the person to put it together and put it out there. But what do you feel is coming? What do you feel is coming next?
Well, I started to write another book when I was in Chile, and it's in the very beginning stages. But I feel like that's going to continue to come through me. And I'm leaving next week for the Galapagos Islands, and I'm going to bring my computer to do some more writing on the plane, because I love to write on the plane. And even though my flight's at 2 a.m, we'll see. But it's momentum, right? Bring the laptop. So yeah, there's another book in the works. I have no idea when it's coming out. And there's also this respect for this one to get her into her next form out into the world. So I think that's what's next. I also think that more exploration of the world is coming, and being able to provide space for people who want to go to extraordinary places like Iceland next year or France at the end of this year. That is also a part of what I'm here for, is to create this real safe container to partner with wonderful companies who will provide, beautiful, transformative adventure experiences for people. And then I think we just keep going with Yogi Triathlete. There is a massive movement happening right now where people are looking for holistic performance. We were the first. I believe we're still the only container that really offers that in a way that only we can offer it, because we have been living it for so many years. And you talked about the chapter about Mary, and I know we've had a lot of new listeners since 2021. And BJ is referring to a dear friend of ours, my meditation student. She was an ultra endurance athlete and coach. Her name was Mary Knott, and she was murdered in February of 2021 at the hands of her ex-boyfriend. And I just read that chapter. It's chapter 9 of the book. And I'm so grateful to Mary, because Mary knew I was writing this book, and she was so excited about this book coming into the world, because the work that her and I did together made a profound impact on her life. And I'm so grateful to her, because she gave me so much strength from beyond when things were so confusing and I had no idea how this was going to come into the form that it's in now, to see things through. And I just read the chapter today. I started with it this morning, and like you said, it kind of brought up like a tear to your eye and things like that. And it's so weird to think about, people in our lives that aren't here anymore, that we thought were going to be here, because they left this world at what we would consider to be a young age. And for Mary, it was 44. And for me, when I read that chapter, it was interesting. It wasn't sadness. I could feel the trauma in my body. I could feel the buzz of that fear that was so paralyzing. I had never experienced fear that paralyzing, because we were so close to this just utter violence and this absolute tragic exit of a dear friend of ours that was physically very close to us, just a mile from our home. A man who I had cooked dinner for, he was in my home. A man who would send a chill up my spine when I was in his presence. And one of the biggest things I pulled away from that was experiencing a massive trauma, and that we can move through life in joyful expression. We will laugh again. And although there's a part of us that says we will never be as happy or whole as we were before that thing happened in our life, I've lived the opposite, that I live in this whole experience of her helping me from a different realm to really be able to elevate people who are frozen in that paralysis of fear. It's real. And I had a remembrance of it today. It's still in my tissues. It's very interesting. But that was my response to it. And I think that, we all have people who are going to fall away from our lives, like physically, they're just not going to be here anymore. And we love them. And so what is it that they want us to carry on? What did they bring to our lives? And I think it's such an important piece to not forget that, and live it. And I also talk about your mom and how she passed just a couple months before Mary, and how her death and what we pulled from it and learned and the legacy that she left us assisted me in the biggest feat of forgiveness ever, which was to forgive Mary's murderer. So it's a really juicy book, and it's for everyone. And I think that we all have experienced trauma in this life. You turn on the news, we're going to have impressions of trauma left on our brains. And so there's a way through it, and there's a way through it where we're powerful and we're calm and our nervous system is nurtured and balanced and we can do amazing things. But I think one of the greatest things that death gives us is the ability to look at our life and say, if today was the last, would I be living the life that I'm living today? And it doesn't have to be a major shift. It could just be a little shift. It could just be a shift in a thought that you don't want to think anymore. All of that is possible. So what's next? More deep stuff.
I think the natural transition is going to be taking the Awake Athlete guidelines and message out into these yoga retreats that you lead. I think putting people in adventure is the same way that we do with athletes in endurance. We put them in endurance and we teach them the mindfulness. You put them out in adventure in their comfortable, adventurous space where they are curious, and you tap into that curiosity through the yoga practices or through the little side conversations you have. And then soon after, you find that they're now coaching with YogiTriathlete, or they're doing things in their life that they just didn't think they could do. And that's part of the message I want to share with everyone, or stress with everyone. We're here. Everyone listening to this, you could be here as well. I feel like the only difference between what Jess and I have done, where a lot of people have had ideas and dreams, is we just kept going. We just kept going. We just kept going. And we used our will, determination, resiliency as endurance athletes to just keep going, get the reps in. And don't get caught up in the signs that say, go the other way. And keeping things in a neutral, more steady flow, even though there were highs and lows, always coming back to that center. So if you're watching this and listening to this and saying to yourself, but that can't be me. I've tried it before. Have you tried it 1,000 times over? 1,000 times over. And another realization from this is you're going to truly find what you love. Because if you love and are passionate about something, you will see it to the end. You will dedicate yourself to your craft. You will become an enlightened being in all ways, and you will have so much joy in life. So when Jess talks about the last day, if this was your last day, can you really say, I'm so joyful in what I'm doing? I can say, yes, today we are figuring things out, how to use one mic to record this, how to move the cameras, and we moved them from the place where we recorded the video. So if we have to go back, I have to do some adjusting, being okay with all of that, figuring it out. I can say that we have just kept going. So keep going. If you're listening to this, you have something you're passionate about. It may not be the first time, the second time, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years. Remove the timeline, dedicate yourself to it over and over again, and just watch and allow everything that you've worked for to flood in on at the right, perfect time.
Yeah, and never forget that our ability to manifest is a gift from life that ensures that we have fun along the way. So find what you love and do more of it, please. Yeah.
That's my.
Oh, that's BJ's. You want to say you then? Okay, you do it, BJ.
No, because
no, you do it, BJ.
Because that shows that the
BJ invented that.
It shows that the message is spreading.
Say it though. I love how you say it.
Find what brings you joy and do more of it. Over and over again. It's true. Yeah. So this is a wrap. This is it. This is the final day. 3 days. 3 days.
Wait. What's next is that you're going to have to pry me out of here. I love the studio life.
All right, wait.
What?
One last thing.
What?
What's something that you haven't shared with everyone, either the book, the video, or anything that you would like to share here about the book or anything? This is an opportunity to close it all up. Behind the scenes, any hesitation you had in recording, any thought that you had while you were reading the book?
About a month ago, my dad died. And I was titrating. He was very sick with Parkinson's and a host of other things. The guy got every last ounce out of his body, let me tell you that. And when I published this book in 2023, he was still alive, obviously, because he just passed about a month ago. And I was so thrilled that this came into print while he was still alive, because his state of health, he could have gone anywhere in between when I started writing the book, officially started writing the book in 2020 and August of 2023 when it was actually published. And he loved this book. And he loved to read. He read so many books in his life. He was that person that just would fly through books. And in 2023, he was very sick. So his ability to read and retain was deteriorating fast. And he would keep this book on his side table. And he would read a little bit every night. And he would just tell me about how incredible he thought the book was and the messages that I was sharing in the world. He was just beyond words about what he thought about what his daughter was putting into the world. And obviously I haven't told this to anybody. And when I went home for his funeral, I went up to the room that he would sleep in, and this was on his side table with his glasses. And so this book means so much to me because everything that transformed how I live and who I am and who I continue to want to step into is in this book. But it holds such a personal achievement for me because my dad so heavily influenced the strength of my mind and my ability to overcome hard things. And he always did it so steady. And to be able to know that he absorbed this book, as I don't know how much he read, but he would read it diligently until he could no longer hold the book on his own. And yeah, that just fills my heart. And so you just don't know how life is going to compound meaning in your life. So whatever it is that you're being called to, do it. Life is urgent. Just do it. Take the trip. Write the book. Start the business. Send the apology to your friend. Be vulnerable. Admit that you're wrong. Be happy instead of being right. Life is urgent, and it's here for you. So live it fully. Live it uniquely. Live it like you, not like anybody else. Is that a good enough breakdown to wrap this up? I need my makeup person. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Woo! Thanks, everyone. All right. Signing off from Prosperity Studios in San Diego, California.